That's right.
Cool. Well, we haven't seen you guys in, I want to say 6 months.
Oh, dude, it's been more than
It's
that.
been,
I think our
yeah.
last episode was like November, like before Christmas, right? We didn't do anything after that, did we?
I don't think so. So almost 6 months. A little bit more than 6
Yeah.
months, maybe. We dropped the Amazon Echo, Ceaseless for Amazon
We did
Echo.
that.
Is it up? I think it's up, right? It's on
I think
on
it's
the website.
published. We never like promoted it.
Okay, but it's up. There's another video we shot, and then it's here, and then here we are,
Yeah.
6 months
It's
later.
been a really busy season. Like I've been to like 4 weddings this summer,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not back to back though.
Some of them were like
Summer.
some of them were back to back.
Oh dang.
My younger sister got married.
Okay, that's huge.
That's a huge point.
That's important.
My housemate got married. That was huge too.
Yes. Yeah.
I gave toasts at both weddings, which was very fun for
Okay.
me. And I had other friends who got married, but they were not as close as obviously my sister and my housemate. I think those are the biggest personal highlights, probably. And then for TheoTech as a company, what happened? I mean, we've improved Ceaseless to some degree, but we're going to talk about that later. Some things that I've learned along the way about leadership and what it means for Ceaseless. With Spiffio, which I haven't talked much about on this podcast, but we got some traction there, which is really exciting with a conference that's serving several, like 18 languages. And they're going to use our software to help them to make that a seamless experience for their attendees. And that is a pretty exciting development. And just really, I think that what really encouraged me about that thing, we could talk about it separately or maybe not, was discovering that what I've built and what we've done at TheoTech is actually really valuable to somebody.
Yeah.
Like so valuable that they want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's really encouraging about that, and that it really meets a need. It really solves their problem, and that in some ways, although it was hard to be principled enough to stick to our guns in the sense that like we believe this is what God wants, and so we're building a product that delivers more of what God wants for really amazing multilingual experiences.
Yeah.
And not kind of just chasing the money to say like, oh, we think that we can make more money doing consulting or all these other opportunities on the side. To get to the point where you discover that somebody really wants your product because they need it.
Yeah.
It's solving a real pain point, and it was because you were sticking to your original purpose. That's an awesome kind of validation, and it's just really encouraging.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more work to do, but that's a really good data point saying like, wow, not only were we sticking to our mission, but now we're finding that place where it's connecting. The mission is connecting with people's needs.
Yeah.
And that's really awesome. That's what's up with Spiffio and TheoTech. And I got invited to speak at a couple places, and so I said yes to most of them. And it's like, okay, it's not happening. It's happening in October, like back to back to back to back. And it's just going to be crazy month. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Actually, do you want to promo that? So Christ in Cascadia, right?
Yeah,
That's the
there's
first one?
several events. So we may be speaking at Missions Fest Seattle. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence for the gospel. And it's really, the goal is to try to activate churches to say, guys, even though you guys aren't the most like technologically innovative and advanced, there's so many things that you can be doing day to day or week to week that could be leveraged by artificial intelligence for the sake of the gospel. And of course, a lot of what I'm talking about refers to multilingual worship and multilingual preaching and those kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a little bit of what that talk's going to be about. Artificial intelligence is just really hot right now in the startup scene, and the tech scene is kind of making a resurgence. And yeah, we want to see it leveraged for the kingdom. That's one. Two, at Christ in Cascadia, which is kind of a theology, I guess a theology praxis kind of conference. It's about the Pacific Northwest, very specifically. And it's going to bring in academics, artists, business people, and all these other people who care about the Pacific Northwest to present. And I've been invited to talk about tech and the faith sector, or sorry, tech and the faith sector. Faith and the tech sector. The faith sector is...
The faith sector.
Yeah, faith and the tech sector, code for the kingdom, those kinds of things. And I'm not quite sure yet, because the audience is mixed in that event. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to hit on. But, I was walking... So this is what I do. When I'm like really deep in code, I can't really think about talks. Like I can't think about people. I have to think about code.
Yeah.
And then when I think about people, it's hard to think about code. So I have to switch out of my different modes. So the other day, I was coding like crazy for Spiffio stuff. And then when they asked me like, hey, what's your talk going to be about? I was like, oh, I got to go for a walk. So I went for a walk and I got distracted playing Pokemon Go. So I came home without having really thought about my talk. But, this is now going to be, what is it, like the third year for TheoTech? And I realized, like, I've been able to cast some vision the previous years and communicate some of the ideals, and we put on events like the Code for the Kingdom hackathon. And my thought right now is that this is the time not only to cast the vision, but to make a very clear call to action.
Yeah.
This is the time, this is the moment. And there's a couple things that I hope I can do at my talk. One is going to be to cast that vision. Two is to use my platform to highlight some of the things that other people are doing, like all those really awesome Code for the Kingdom projects and stuff.
Mm.
And then three is to teach or to inspire or to teach, like, the people who come, theologians, church leaders, business leaders, other people, to actually understand, like, hey, what is it that we can do to maximally leverage and activate all these technologists in our midst? So that could look like both, what does it look like to be a witness for Christ in the technology world? And also, what does it look like for us to empower believers who are already in the technology world to do that and to be building things with their gifts that advance the kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
right? And almost to the degree, like, I think in the past I lacked the boldness to be very clear about, guys, this is what I believe God wants.
Mm.
It's not simply a nice suggestion, but to the degree of saying this is how you could reconfigure how you do your church life or your work life or whatever else like that to make it possible for people to actually and seriously apply those gifts for the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you take it from being like just hobbies and side projects and stuff into the real concentrated, intense, thoughtful effort that produces the kinds of results that you know that make a difference.
Mm.
Um, so that's what I'm kind of leaning towards for that talk. God
Mm.
willing, I don't know yet. I
Mm.
I prefer to give kind of happy talks that make people feel inspired,
Yeah.
but it may be time for more of a serious talk. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Called the call to action.
Yeah, the call to action. And then the third thing is gonna be we're gonna put on Code for the Kingdom.
Oh,
Uh,
here? Oh yeah, because we did that last year.
yeah, October
Oh God,
21st.
time flies so fast.
Code for the Kingdom. I think it's October 21st to 23rd. And I'm really grateful God's provided someone who was a volunteer last year. Maybe we can have him on the podcast sometime.
Sure.
His name is Daniel Hug. To be the organizer for this year. He's agreed to be the organizer. I'm his mentor. Going to
Okay.
train him and coach him, but it should be good. And the last one is actually a conference for missions and technology, so it's even more specific.
So you're doing 4 talks,
I guess so, something like that.
but one of them's gonna be November, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the missions one. So that's why it's
Dang.
kind of overwhelming, but it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dude, you're gonna be busy.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
you're gonna be busy. That's cool. No, I like. It was actually really encouraging to hear how like you're getting like your first customer. It's like a plant that's like just sprouting. You can
Barely
see, like-
sprouting.
yeah, you can see like the little bit of green. You're like, it's growing, but it's still like a little green.
I
bud.
know,
Yeah,
it's challenging,
yeah.
but
It's fun. I mean, I guess like it's from kind of a sideline perspective though. It's actually been really encouraging because I've seen this guy like go up and down like so many times every week. Like he'll be like on a roller coaster high, like oh yeah, some opportunity, and then next week it's like nah, it didn't work.
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. I tried, it didn't work. Um, yeah, I think my half year was a little less eventful. I am your standard 9 to 5, so I did that for pretty much every week. Um, and I did school, but school's done now because we're in summer, which I'm grateful for. And I think the highlight for me, and this just happened recently, is we hit 100, or I hit 100 subscribers for my YouTube channel, which is
Yeah.
something that I never thought I'd reach within this short amount of time, but it's been less than a year and we've hit that mark. So I'm really happy. That was actually one of my goals, like to get to 100.
So you've checked that off.
Yeah.
It's only been 6 months.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, it's been 9 months because I started in September
Okay.
of last year. Like that's when I actually started to take it seriously and like to actually produce content that I would like to watch.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, obviously it starts out rough, like anything, whether it's a company or like whether you're like starting to learn how to cook for the first time, like it doesn't always start off well. But
Yeah.
like I've been able to like meet friends who actually do like cinema for a living, and reviewed my videos, and it sucks because it's like you're friends with them and they tell you like everything that could have been better, and you just don't want to record ever again because you don't want anything to be ripped apart. But then
Yeah.
like you like it's I like it so much. I like content. I like producing content or content creation so much that I'm willing to like take those lessons and at least try to incorporate a few things, in the next video. You know, actually, a clear example. As we're speaking right now, I just published a few videos of me and some friends going to Orcas Islands, and you'll notice that there are a few still shots where I place the camera somewhere and I let people walk by. And that was a suggestion that one of my friends had to me on my previous video. He told me that like I have too much first person view, because it's easy because I'm holding the camera and I'm like kind of showing everyone what's going on. And he challenged me to set cameras up in different areas, and it sucked because it's like that was one of like a list of 10 things that I did wrong in my video, or one of the 10 things that I could have improved
Yeah.
in my previous video. And it really sucked that like I had to go back and like edit things accordingly, according to the feedback. But it helps. Like I learned a lot. So
I think that's really good. It's like
yeah,
constantly learning and pushing yourself, which is
yeah,
why it's always a little bit hard.
yeah,
But the fact that you get that kind of coaching is awesome.
yeah. Whether I like it or not, because
Yeah.
sometimes my friends are very, very verbal about it. I will say though that I was really defeated in June. I didn't produce anything. No music, no videos, and part of it was, I was still doing my 9 to 5, so I was still working. But I would like come home and watch like Netflix or cartoons or whatever, and then go to bed. And I think to the average American, that's like on an awesome life, to be able to like get up, go to work, come back home, chill, relax, watch TV, and go to bed. Like I think that's what typical America does, and I think that's like pinnacle, a target for people to have. I don't know. I don't know if it's true
I
or
think
not.
some people are comfortable with it,
Yeah.
but I've experienced that lifestyle, I guess, and it's pretty empty after a while.
Yeah. No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I hated the fact that I wasn't creating anything. I hated the fact that I wasn't producing anything. And I just hated the fact that, like, I wasn't really growing in any area. I was living comfortably. Like, I think life was, like, quote unquote great. It just sucked because, like, I didn't do anything for that month. And towards the end, I actually did really, I did feel really defeated. And it took a few series of events to get me kicked in the butt, but like now I'm like kind of back on track. That's why we're doing this right now, because I'm like I'm on the upswing. So I'm just like, we've got to get stuff done. We got to get content produced.
Let's keep shipping.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
keep producing.
I think also I had to thought like we have a friend who runs a nonprofit called Created to Create, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
do some awesome awesome work. But their name comes from the belief that God created us in His image as creators, and in some ways like that feeling of like meaninglessness that comes when like we're in a lull and we're not like making anything.
Yeah.
It could be a reflection of just that reality. It's like yeah, like God made us to create stuff, so when we're stuck in these ruts and stuff, we kind of feel that loss of a sense of purpose as well.
Yeah.
So just a thought, but I really love Scott's work, and I just thought of his nonprofit and all the good
Yeah,
things that they do.
yeah.
When you mentioned about the what you were going through.
Yeah. I see him like every month.
Really?
Yeah, he has like this group that
Oh, the meetup.
Yeah, the meetup.
Yeah, you're going to the meetup. Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's the only thing about his group is that everyone there, if they're not like directly related to film, they all have like gear and cameras that are like 10 times the amount that I have. And it's crazy because they want to get even better equipment than what they have
Oh,
right now. And I'm
wow.
just like, dude, are you serious? Like they're literally, well, I don't know if I should say this, but like, yeah, I guess they're in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in like the hundreds of dollars.
They're the order of magnitude
Yeah.
higher.
No,
Well,
290. I'm only hundreds. Like if I buy like $600, $800, that's a lot. Like if I drop $1,000, that's a lot
I
for
agree.
me. Like
Yeah.
a lot.
What does like $10,000 worth of equipment buy you?
You're in the professional level.
Yeah.
And I mean you can definitely go like as high as.
Yeah.
And again, like I honestly don't know too much about
Okay.
like the high-end professionals, but like there's a specific type of cameras called Reds, and minimum you have to pay like 3,000 or 4,000 for like their entry level
That's pretty
camera.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like if I got the opportunity to work with one, sure, like I would love to do that, but I don't think one, I don't think I have the skill set necessary to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think you'd have to have a little more experience, and that's why I think what I'm shooting with right now and what I'm recording with right now is okay.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't have that skill set. It would be kind of a waste almost to hand me something that's so expensive.
Until you're ready for it.
Yeah, I'm not ready. It's kind of like giving a 5-year-old a knife, a kitchen knife. Like, I can use it. You can use it because we're, you know, mature adults who have, you know, dexterity and
Yeah.
can wield said tool. But, you know, like for me, I would like to practice a little bit more with what I have first. And then, you know, after that, slowly, you know, build up towards getting a nice camera.
Yeah. I think that sounds reasonable.
But yeah, but if Casey Neistat uses the 70D, I can use a 70D and I can get by.